What's up, guys? It's your favorite chef, B. Lorraine, and welcome to my channel. Tonight, we are making a winter classic, a bowl of chili. This is a dish that can go a long way in any household. But first, we got to stop at the grocery store so I can pick up a few items that'll make this dish even more classic in your household. So, what I did was purchase some green pepper, red pepper, onion, ground beef, and a few other items that you'll see shortly. These items are perfect for a fresh bowl of chili. So we always want to stick to fresh veggies whenever we are creating any of our dishes. So to stay as fresh as possible, you are more than welcome to take a little bit of a shortcut and maybe buy frozen veggies, but I don't think they hold up the same. I don't feel like they even turn out the same as far as flavor wise because they have been previously frozen. But it is an option for a quick and easy something that you want in your own house. I personally like fresh veggies. So we have those items. I picked up some beef broth, some red beans. I did use canned tomato, tomato sauce, and tomato paste. I used the combination of the three to give this dish depth. It is ideal. You can make this tomato sauce from scratch if you like. You can use fresh tomatoes if you like. However, I personally like the can because they have had a chance to soak up some flavor, and you don't have to worry about the skin on the tomatoes either. So this is a great way to get what you need and get the perfect dish.
I'm sorry.
You know what, this lady here in the store, she was super sweet. She didn't know what she was buying.
She say you
I
cussing. You been
I
cussing.
did not have this sound in here, but she's a
Not
super
cussing you
sweet
wrong.
lady, and I had an opportunity to give her some insight on how to prepare some stuff for her.
Oh,
So I do hope she gets a chance to tune
it's
into this
easy.
channel and and maybe even take some tips because she was not confident in the kitchen, and I hope that I left her with a little bit of confidence after leaving the grocery store. So we made it back home. We got all of the ingredients that we need. Oh, I also picked up at the grocery a paprika, chili powder, and and I believe that was it. But I will definitely show later on in this video exactly what seasons we are using for this dish. So right here we are cutting down the green peppers. We want to julienne slice them. So julienne is just basically a thin, straight cut on any veggie, any pieces of in any veggie that you use. It is just a straight cut. So you'll see that being demonstrated here. Once we get that cut, we want to go back in and do a small dice. That small dice again adds texture to this dish. So we do it for both the green pepper, the red pepper, and we also do it for the onion as well. All right, so now we have all of the green pepper and the red pepper, small dice. We want to go in with the jalapeno. The jalapeno is definitely optional. If you do not like spice, this is definitely something you do not have to add to this dish. My family, we love a little bit of kick, so it is a great add to this dish. Give you that kick, give you that spiciness. You can go as mild or as hot as you like. If you are one of those people that love hot, 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 and spicy, a ghost pepper is ideal. You will always win with a ghost pepper. You don't need a lot of it. You can small dice it and just saute it, add it to the dish, and it's going to give you a whole lot of kick. So, but we do use the jalapeno pepper for this dish. I did only use half of it because, again, we like spice, but not too much. And my children don't mind adding like hot sauce and things like that to their food. So I want to leave that option available for them as well. When dicing the jalapeno pepper, I did not remove the seeds, so that also adds a little bit of extra spice to this dish. And also, that is actually where the spice comes from. So, do be mindful of that if you want a lot of spice or a little bit of spice. So, we went on ahead, got this onion diced up. We're on to the garlic. We will also be fine chopping the rosemary. Rosemary is one of my favorite herbs to use in a lot of dishes, and especially whenever I am preparing any sort of meat dish, so chicken, beef, steak, anything in those areas. I love to use rosemary. It just gives a great balance of flavor and texture as well. So I added the ground beef. We're already over here at the stove now. So we added the ground beef to the pot. Make sure your pot is hot. I did not put oil in the bottom of this pot, mainly because the ground beef that I purchased was the 90/10, and it does have a little bit of fat in it. We don't need a lot of fat. I will add a little bit more oil a little bit later for the veggies, but as of now, I don't need it for the ground beef. If you were to get a 95.5 ground beef or even bison. So, if you didn't know, side note, bison is one of the most lean meat that you could possibly use for like a ground burger, or even this chili would be a great option if you want to stick to something with the least amount of fat in it. Okay, so I did add a few seasonings to the ground beef while it was cooking. We used cumin, paprika, and a little bit of my personal seasoning that you can also purchase on my website at shopartoflavor.com. And the seasoning that I used for this dish was the seafood seasoning. Even though it says seafood seasoning, you are able to use it in a number of dishes, like this chili, for instance. This is a great option and a great add on to give you a little bit of extra flavor that we're looking for, right? So, once we have our ground beef all pan seared and brown, we want to remove it from the heat. We do not want to strain it at all. We don't need to. We don't need to rinse it. I have seen people rinse their ground beef before, so I think it needs to be said. So we don't want to do that, but we do want to set it aside while we are sauteing the veggies. Okay, so once we get them in the pot, we don't need initially any type of extra oil. Again, I did add some here in this stage of it because I felt like it was not fatty enough in the bottom to get the veggies seared the way that I wanted them to, but it is optional for you. You may or may not even want it, but again, I added just a little bit more. So if you have more of a fatty ground beef, definitely don't add any oil to your pan. Just utilize the oil, the fat that was already from the meat. Okay, that gives you extra flavor and a little bit of balance, and it doesn't make it oily. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want it to separate with the oil in this dish because it doesn't look good and it just doesn't taste good either. Okay, so I went on ahead, added the diced tomato, the tomato sauce, and we're going to add the tomato puree shortly, well, which is actually tomato paste. So this is the tomato paste. We add this. This is mainly used to thicken this dish. Okay, it is not used for anything other than thickening. We will now add the beef broth. Once we get the beef broth in, we're going to add a cup of water. So these two are used to make sure that this dish gets that stewy, that stewiness. That's what we want. If you don't like it as loose and you want it a little bit more tighter, you want to add a little more tomato paste, and you want to add less broth and less water. You can skip the water altogether, only use the beef broth and let it thicken up. You also want to cut the flavor just a bit because with tomatoes, and we've added three different types of tomatoes to this dish. So if you don't care for that tomatoey flavor, we want to just be mindful of just cutting it just a bit because it can be a little tart when you start adding, especially that tomato paste. So we want to break that up, and give you that good flavor. So I added brown sugar. This is amazing to bring everything together. This is a perfect, perfect, perfect addition to this dish. Add it at the end, let it simmer. Once it is simmered and it's to the texture that you want and that you enjoy, especially with those red beans, make sure your red beans are tender. Serve this hot, over rice, or with nothing at all. It is completely up to you. Either way, this is the perfect hearty winter dish to sit by the fire with your family and share. It is inexpensive and it is perfect for a chilly day. No pun intended. Always remember that flavor is an art and we should treat it as such. So be creative and be confident. If you're new here, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Drop in the comments if you prepare this for your family. And also let me know what you want me to prepare for our next video. Until next time, keep your appetites and your standards high. See you soon.